Richard Lawson was a man whose name carried weight in the city. His empire stretched across industries, real estate, finance, and technology. His fortune was the kind that could buy almost anything. Yet, for all his wealth, Richard lived with a quiet loneliness that no amount of money could erase. His wife had passed away when their daughter was young, and though he had filled her life with comfort, luxury, and every opportunity, he often wondered if he had given her enough of himself. His daughter, Emily, had grown up in the shadow of skyscrapers her father owned, chauffeured in sleek cars, educated in the best schools. From the outside, she seemed to live a dream life, yet Richard knew that behind her polite smiles and elegant manners was a heart searching for something more than riches. Emily admired her father deeply. She saw in him a man of discipline, someone who had risen from nothing to build an empire with sheer determination. But at times, she felt disconnected from the values that had shaped him. She had never known hunger, never felt the cold bite of an unpaid bill, never worked endless hours just to keep the lights on. Her father often told her stories of his youth, of the struggles he endured. But to Emily, they sounded like fables from another world. She respected them, but she did not understand them. And Richard, in turn, worried that without hardship, his daughter might never find the strength to face life's inevitable storms. One autumn morning, as golden leaves swirled in the crisp air, Richard called Emily into his study. She entered quietly, the soft click of her heels echoing against the marble floor. He looked up from the papers on his desk, his eyes tired but kind. "Emily," he began, "you're about to graduate. Soon you'll step into the world, not as my little girl, but as your own woman, and I need to know that you're ready." Emily tilted her head, curious. "Ready for what, Father?" He leaned back in his chair, folding his hands. "Ready to build something of your own. Ready to stand without leaning on my name or my wealth." Her brows furrowed. "Are you saying you don't want me to work in the company?" Richard shook his head. "I want you to work wherever your heart leads you, but I don't want you to be trapped by comfort. Money can build walls as easily as it builds bridges. I want you to know how to climb without a safety net." Emily was silent, his words weighing heavily on her. She had always assumed her path would be straightforward: take her place in her father's company, use the wealth at her disposal, and continue the legacy. But now, looking at him, she saw a man who wanted more for her than ease. He wanted resilience, purpose, and independence. That night, she lay awake in her vast bedroom, staring at the ceiling, wondering who she was without the Lawson fortune the next week. Richard made a decision that shocked everyone. He transferred Emily to a public university in the heart of the city, a place where students juggled part-time jobs and late-night studies, where the name Lawson carried no special privileges. Emily protested at first, her friends gasped in disbelief, and the media speculated endlessly. But Richard stood firm. "You'll thank me one day," he told her. "This is where you'll learn what wealth can't teach you." Her first days at the new university were a whirlwind of unfamiliar faces and experiences. Gone were the chauffeurs, the polished classrooms, the tailored uniforms. Instead, she navigated crowded buses, cafeteria food, and professors who treated her no differently from anyone else. At first, she felt lost, even humiliated. But slowly, she began to see the beauty in it. She met students who studied by day and worked by night, people who carried burdens she had never imagined, yet faced them with courage. She formed friendships not built on status, but on shared struggles, group projects, exam anxiety, and the joy of small victories. One evening, after a long day of lectures, Emily sat on the steps of the campus library, watching the sun dip behind the skyline. A fellow student named Daniel, who worked part-time at a bookstore, sat beside her. "Rough day?" he asked, offering her a granola bar. She smiled faintly, accepting it. "I'm not used to this," she admitted. "All of it feels different," he chuckled. "Different doesn't mean bad. It means you're learning." She looked at him, curious. Learning what? He shrugged. That life isn't about what you have. It's about what you do with it. Those words echoed in her mind as the weeks turned into months. She began volunteering at a local shelter, tutoring children who dreamed of an education they couldn't afford. She learned to cook simple meals, to budget her allowance carefully, to understand the value of every dollar. Each challenge shaped her in ways luxury never had. And though she often stumbled, she found strength she didn't know she possessed. Meanwhile, Richard watched from a distance, his heart swelling with pride. He saw his daughter growing not just into a woman of privilege, but into a woman of character. And though he missed having her close, he knew this journey was necessary. One evening, when Emily came home, exhausted but glowing with stories of the children she tutored, Richard smiled and thought of his late wife. "You'd be proud of her," he whispered to the empty room. What Emily didn't yet know was that her father's greatest gift wasn't the fortune he would one day leave her. It was the wisdom he was giving her now, that true wealth is measured not by the size of one's bank account, but by the depth of one's heart, the kindness of one's actions, and the resilience to rise, no matter how hard life pushes you down.